Well, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, I'm in a DVE. This is actually a live Christmas tree footage I took at Disneyland in Anaheim, California. And so it's rolling in the background, but that's real footage. And so you'll see flash photography going off because I was taking this with my iPhone and in the way of photographers. So I didn't notice them at first, and then I felt horrible that I was actually in their way. So also have the Skycam tonight. Let's bring that up here. So Skycam over my shoulder if you want to see the desk layout. There you go. Wanted to start at a DVE tonight because I just really want to talk about that tonight just a little bit, and that's if you have an A10 Mini Pro, A10 Mini Pro ISO, A10 Mini, then you can actually bring a DVE on the screen, and there's lots of cool things you can do with it. I just used it in a macro. And so if you have any questions about the DVE and the Mini Pro, the Mini Pro ISO, you can include those in the Q&A tonight, as well as there's two DVEs available in the ATEM Extreme and ATEM Extreme ISO. And then obviously those higher end decks I've never owned, and I don't do much on those decks here. So let me cut to me, and let's turn that off, and let's cut to me and this logo, and here you go. So let me know if everything sounds good in the chat. Let's say hi here. I see Freddie Ponce here all the way from Venezuela. Craig was in here earlier, and he says hi. We're supposed to have some special guests on with us tonight in the chat, so we'll see how that plays out. Oh, they're here. LiveSkills is here, and we're going to be talking about a application that they have. They actually have more than one application, but a shout out to LiveSkills, and I'll do kind of official introduction of them later. But welcome tonight. Let's see who else is here. Me, I'm on there a bunch of times chatting. Also, I turned, let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, there's Quick Tech, Tony from Quick Tech. Thanks for joining me. Again, we got LiveSkills in the house, so I'm very excited about that. Those of you who know me, you know how much I have respect for and appreciation for anybody that's out in the industry, especially app development. So we're excited to have those guys here tonight. They're not going to be on the stream, but they are in the chat. And and it's 1 o'clock where they're from, so a.m., and it's 4 o'clock here in the afternoon in the city of Richland, in the state of Washington, in the United States. And we have people that tune in from all over as well as outside of the country. And I welcome you. Thank you so much. This is the holiday week chat. Live Q&A. I do want to get to the point as soon as we possibly can. And that point's going to be instant replay on a HyperDeck. Now, I don't know if that's an interest to you or not, but I've had a number of people reach out to me because I've focused on the HyperDecks and not just my HyperDeck Mini, which I have here on my desk. We're going to do a little tour here tonight, hopefully with my iPhone tethered, not actually tethered, but through my Apple TV, and we'll see if we can get that working here a little bit. I haven't tested it tonight, but it should be simple. But I want to talk about instant replay, and because I talk so much about the HyperDeck, many people will ask me questions about the HyperDeck. And one of the questions I get is, can you do instant replay? Now, many of you guys know that the HyperDeck for me is not an old thing. I haven't had them for years. Literally, I started with a Cam Link, which is an Elgato, a device that you can plug your HDMI cable into it. The other side is a USB cable, and it's almost always right here in my drawer because I talk about it all the time, so I can pull it out. So there's the Cam Link, and this is an adapter, HDMI to USB, and you really need to have a fast USB. That's why it's blue, and so older computers probably won't work very well, but you can stream through this. That's what I started with, my Canon 5D Mark IV. Actually, I think I actually started with my Canon 5D, Mark IV. I already had it, and I started live streaming from another room in my house on this desk with this one camera using OBS. And so the HyperDeck and the ATEMs are new for me. In fact, I bought the ATEM Mini Pro. Turns out that it came out right before I made my purchasing decision, so many people have the ATEM. The ATEM is different than the ATEM Mini Pro, not by size, but it does have, the ATEM Mini Pro has different features from the ATEM Mini. So if you are looking for a switcher, make sure you do your research or reach out to me and ask a question. And if you haven't taken advantage of my 1 hour free consult, you can do that. I actually have a consult on Wednesday with someone that found me here on the live stream. And again, I do that for clients here in the local area. And I also want to help other live streamers, YouTubers, people out there as well. That's just my heart. And that's why I'm excited to have guests on the show and have those of you that have your channels and many people who have supported my channel over the years. Thank you so much. And mostly the last year and a half as I've been really strategically building the channel. So HyperDeck is new. I bought a HyperDeck Mini, did not realize it had been around for almost 10 years. And then Blackmagic Design does a new update. And so now you have 4 new HyperDecks, not counting the ones that they updated in the upper end. But in the kind of the consumer or prosumer area, most people would use like the HyperDeck Mini or the HyperDeck Pro. And so those decks are even 4K decks. I stream 1080p. So in reality, HD is pretty fine for me, but in my HyperDeck Mini, I can go up to 4K, 30 frames per second. It will record that. And I'm set up tonight to record, even though my camera's set for HD. We're gonna do some instant replay. So I have my Canon 5D Mark IV, which is what I'm looking at right here, going into my converter, my SDI converter. It's a 6G converter because if I do want to record up to 4K, you need to have S6G. 3G is not going to have the bandwidth to be able to do 4K, and that's why there are 6G converters as well. And so I convert from that to SDI because originally my HyperDeck Mini only had SDI inputs for recording. Now the new HyperDeck, which I've added just in the last I think 3 months now, and I have a series on the HyperDeck Mini. Again, it's from my rookie perspective. I've done as much research as I possibly can and crammed as much of that information into that series. And then voila, the new HyperDeck came out. And you guys know the rest of the story if you've been on the channel for the live stream each week. I have a new series with 5 videos out, and we just got number 5 up last week. And so you can check that out. And if you haven't liked it or subscribed to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you haven't visited those playlists, the HyperDeck Mini playlist and the new HyperDeck series playlist, then check those out. I do have some bonus videos coming out to that. One of them will be about replay, instant replay, and what you can do with 1 deck or what you can do with 2 decks. And we'll be talking about that here shortly. So again, shout out to those of you guys who've joined me. Audio and video, okay. Thank you, Freddie. I can see if it seems like I asked that question, then I don't respond to the chat. It's because I can see my audio levels, and I usually check it in the headphones, which hang right here behind me. Let me cut to this camera again. Hopefully you guys will appreciate this view. This should bring it up. So here I am, Skycam. Where is the Skycam? Over my shoulder. Camera. That is the Elgato face cam. I've been using it. I think I told you guys I'd probably use it as a sky cam. So it's up there. I also have my Logitech, which I do not have it on right now, but I do use that when I'm doing some training and when I need people to see what I'm doing and feel like they're in the room with me. And I'll be using that camera in my consult on Wednesday. So I'm super excited about that. So take advantage of that hour. If you have any questions about if you should get an ATEM or ATEM Mini, or maybe you should just get a Elgato Cam Link and save the money. It's about $100. They're impossible to get about a year ago, but now they're available. And there was a time where you could walk right into Best Buy here in the Tri-Cities, which is an electronics store that sells stuff online, and you could just pick up a lot of the Elgato stuff, including the face cam. So 2 HyperDecks are new for my studio, but there was so little information when I searched YouTube, I dove into them. And then as I dove into them and started doing these series, I got these questions about live streaming and using the HyperDeck. And should you get a HyperDeck if you have something like ProPresenter and you are a church or a group that uses that kind of software and you do most of your streaming through VMX and you do most of that through PC, then we'll talk about that. I have a video coming out on the HyperDeck and who it's for and how you'd use it and when you should get a DeckLink card or a 4K, Thunderbolt device, which Blackmagic also carries. And I got a specific answer to my question from Aaron Parecki on his Sunday live stream. So if you want to know a little bit more about that 4K Thunderbolt device that has a key and a fill channel that you can just come right out of your PC, your Macintosh, Thunderbolt, then go check out Aaron's channel for now because he answered my question in a super chat. And thank you so much, Aaron, if you ever see this, for answering that question. And because I'd never heard him talk about that particular device. And I'll look it up later and we'll talk about that device. So again, tonight we're going to talk about instant replay with the HyperDecks. So they're new to me. The HD Plus version, which is the newer deck, which is a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, a little bit wider. And I think it's a little bit deeper. I think it's got way more inputs and outputs. And it also has way more on the front. And so, so check out those videos if you want to know more about that. I tried to do as thorough a job as I could. But again, I want to take a few minutes just to make sure we've said hi to everybody here. So let me switch out of that app into this app and just take a look here. Happy holidays to you guys as well. Some of you are saying that. And you can see I have my festivities on. I have my twinkle lights going. I have my aperture lights going. And I have I stole my wife's Christmas tree again for the live stream because I just absolutely love it. So it's up there. And so hopefully you're having an amazing week, however you celebrate this time of year. My heart goes out to you. I hope that you have just a great festive time. And it brings a smile to your face because this season definitely brings a smile to my face. So any other quick questions before we dive into replay or any input? In fact, if you have done replay through I think VMX has the ability to do instant replay. So if you have done replay, right, and been on this channel and been in the live streams before, please let me know and what you're using in the chat. Also wanted to ask this question. I was going to wait a little bit longer, but it's long enough. It's almost quarter after. So I'd love to find out what your favorite thing about this time of year is, right? So wherever you are, like my wife loves snow during the holidays. I'm not a fan. I love the holidays. I love getting together. So what is it about this time of year that you enjoy? And hopefully you're finding some extra joy going through what we've all experienced throughout these last year and a half or so. So would you please repeat which are the 4 video inputs that goes into the bin queue? Okay. So Freddie's been on the channel for a long time. Great guy. So Freddie, I have 4 inputs because that's what the bin queue does. And I guess this is when we should test the remote phone app here. And I promise you guys will get into instant replay. So please hang with me here. I'm going to tether my phone and then open up a app. So I don't know if you know this, but you can put your 4K Apple TV into your ATEM. Just takes up an HDMI input channel. So if you have 4 in an ATEM Mini or you have 8 in an Extreme, then you're going to take up one of those channels. And if you have more than one ATEM, like I have a Pro and I have an Extreme, I use my Pro as just a switcher so I can have 4 extra devices. And actually I have more than that. And you can go back and watch some of the live streams where I talked about switches in the studio. But you can tether. So once you've tethered to it, your phone should come up. I got to get away from Skycam here to my iPhone. So once you tether to that, let me just show you guys here real quick. So we're going to cut to channel 3. And I can, so now you get this. And then I will go to the app I want here in front of God and Country. And you can see I have way too many apps. I don't know about you, I'm going to Filmic Pro, and then it has a clean HDMI out. So now I have a mobile cam. So Freddie's asking me about this BenQ monitor. And so this is actually the readout you get from the SDI output. Here, let's bring the DVE on. I'm better prepared tonight because I'm in just a really good holiday spirit. So I'll bring the DVE on, and I'll try to work around this for right now. So that's kind of a pain. Let's turn that back off. So again, I have top left, and I can go into one input by using this toggle, or I can go into 4 or picture in picture. But there you go. I have on the top left my HyperDeck, and I can switch between HyperDecks. Let me hit play on this HyperDeck so the logo pops up. And so I have a switch right here, so I can switch between HyperDecks. So I can go through my intro video and then give it a second, and then it pops up, subscribe. And this is a great moment to say, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Do you like how I did that? And so on the right is my multi-view. That's the first HDMI out of my Extreme. And that's my Extreme ISO right there. And yes, I am recording. I am on the air. And then on the bottom right is my PC desktop, and I have my macros open. And I also have the software from my desktop. And so I can actually grab this right now and move it around so you can see the Millennial Falcon behind it, because that's my desktop background. And then on the right here is my Skycam, which this is my PC. So I have my PC coming in here. And if I right click on this, I can go away from, this is OBS. I can go away from this, so I can close it. I don't want to show you that, but I will show you this. So I have the ability right now to go full screen, and this is OBS, and that's how I was showing you that sky view. And so PC, laptop, that comes out of the main HDMI out of the ATEM Extreme. So it's the first HDMI right down there. It has 2 outs. And then obviously the bottom is my, again, my laptop, my PC, desktop, and then I have my HyperDecks, and I can play both HyperDecks in that quadrant. So I hope that answers your questions, Freddie, and consider that a bonus piece from tonight. So let me explain the wiring tonight. And then I want to introduce our special guest tonight. First of all, because you want to record in the HyperDeck, you need to feed audio to your HyperDeck. And because I use the Rodecaster Pro, and if those of you guys have not seen a Rodecaster Pro, there it is. And I use this HOSA switch because I have the Rodecaster Pro main audio right and left. I have it come into my HOSA, and then I can switch between channel 1, channel 2, and channel 3. And channel 1 is my ATEM. Excuse me, my studio speakers. And here's my studio speakers. And a lot of people stream and they just use headphones, but I actually have a set of speakers. I came from the audio world and engineering and recording, had a recording studio. So I like to have speakers in here. I do all my mixing. I can check all my audio levels. I can also use headphones, and I have a set of headphones right here from my Rodecaster Pro. I have a set of headphones right here for my ATEM, because the Pro and the Mini and the Pro ISO don't have a headphone out, but the Extreme does. It's another advantage of having a Extreme. So I have all of those audio devices, and if I want to take camera audio into my HyperDeck, think about it. If I'm not using the microphone on my camera, or if I don't plug in like a microphone into my camera, which many of you guys have done, my microphone, this SM7B, goes into channel 1 in my Rodecaster Pro. So if I want audio in the video from this camera, I have to bring it into that signal. And right now it's going into my ATEM Extreme through channel 1, and that's great. So everything that is, every time I'm talking, if I'm live in my ATEM out on the YouTube or Facebook or wherever I go live, then you're getting the audio from this microphone. If I'm playing a video clip in my HyperDecks, you get the audio coming in from that video. that video already has audio. I get those videos ready before our live streams, my intro and my outro. And when I cut to that channel, it is set for audio follows video. Might as well show you guys this real quick because this is going to be pertinent. Let's turn the mobile camera off. Macros, what happened to my macros? Let's get out of chat, go back here, and let's do, got to wait for this app to reboot because I was using the chat. So here's me and my desktop. LiveSkills is an app for playing HyperDecks, slow motion, or replay. And we actually have guests in the chat tonight. And we're going to look at this. And so if I want to use my HyperDecks to replay video with no audio, then I don't have to worry about feeding it audio. But if I want to feed it audio, then I have to get audio into my HyperDecks. And if you're using audio on your camera, then yes, you get audio right from the HDMI input, or if you have SDI coming out of your cameras. But if you're not using the camera audio, then you're going to have to feed audio into whatever you are recording on, and the HyperDecks need that input. And so that's really important. So tonight, let me just double check the chat here. Let's go back to this look here. So we'll look at that software here in just a second. But let me go back here into the chat. I know it's here somewhere. And from LiveSkills, we have, and it just says LiveSkills. So if you guys want to introduce yourself, that would be great. I think this right now is Sasha. He's from Berlin. He is the CEO of LiveSkills. I put a link in the description below and actually already a thank you. So check out that app. And if you go to the Apple Apple Store, you can download that app. It's, I think, $49 and some change. And that app will let you be able to control your HyperDecks and your ATEM to be able to set it all up to do instant replay. And I found out about this app in a conversation this week with someone most of you guys know really well. We were just talking about apps and what's new for apps for running on the iPad or the iPhone. In that conversation, we were talking about instant replay, and he brought up this app. I didn't know this app was out there, so I did some research, and it's great to have LiveSkills on the chat tonight. So please let Sasha know you appreciate him coming into the live stream, live chat, and you can ask questions during the chat tonight. If you have a question for me, make sure you put a Q in front of it. And if you have a question specifically for Sasha, then maybe you should just start it with an L and then a colon, so he'll know that that's for him, or put LiveSkills in there. So LiveSkills has two apps, and we'll look at that in a little bit. So I'm feeding audio into the HyperDeck, and the way I have to do that is I have to switch my little HOSA device. And so I also have to go from play mode in my HyperDecks, because I'm using my HyperDecks in my live shows. I play my intro, I have my subscribe graphic on my HyperDeck Mini, and I have my intro and outro and other graphics on my HyperDeck HD Plus, actually Studio HD Plus, which is the new one. And so I don't want to record on those SD cards, so I'll pull one of those cards out. So this is the one that has my subscribe logo, flying in logo on it. So I'll plug that back in. And then if I undo this one, I lose my shot on my screen because this has my intro, my outro, and I definitely don't want to record on these tonight. And also because I am feeding my main camera into my HyperDeck Studio HD Plus, and I'm also feeding that into, let's see, I got to double check these again. Yeah, I was about to copy over one of my discs. And so I have two discs now that are in my HyperDecks that I can record on, because that's something you'd have to make a decision on. If you're going to use a HyperDeck to do instant replay, you're going to definitely have to make sure that nothing on that disk, I mean, it's not going to erase those files, but I would just separate, because you have two SDI inputs in these decks. I would separate one for your video playback and your graphics, and one for recording. And you would just simply change discs, or there are some apps, and even with Companion, you can create a button in Companion. And I've got Companion up here tonight. So on the mobile phone, which I just did a video for. So here's my Elgato Stream Deck phone app, and I've got Companion open. And on Companion, I've created some buttons to do instant replay, but I've got to feed my HyperDecks audio. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to switch in to record mode, but I want you guys to see what happens. So hang on with me here. I am still tethered, so let me see if I still have this app open. No, I don't. So let me open up Filmic Pro. Switch back to this device again. So here's my two HyperDecks, and this is my disc right here that's ready to record on, and it's plugged in. And then my HD Plus, this is my disc that I'm ready to record on. And if you put them in, it reads from them. You can see it's about to read from it. So that's a video I did earlier, testing instant replay. And if I hit play on this one, I completely emptied that one before a show, so it's not going to play anything until I record something on it. So I've got to get it a signal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record on this first deck. And I also switched my switch in the back. This is the new switch I installed for tonight, because now I'm sending my camera to my HyperDeck, and you can see me right there. I am talking away. I'll wave my hand so you guys can see it. And as I hit record on this deck again, not using this disc right here because it's got all my graphics on it, and I don't want to erase them. So I'm going to stop that, move that disc out, pull it out, and put this other disc in. And so they're both ready. And then if I hit record on this, it's going to go into live mode. And so now if I cut to camera 6 right here, which is where I have my Stream Deck HyperDeck Mini here, and I have my Studio HD Plus right here. And so I can cut to either one of these. So let me just cut to 7. And that means it's ready. I'm live on 3. And then there I am. So you're actually seeing me through my HyperDeck. So again, you are seeing the HyperDeck. So I still have audio, but I'm now going to switch my audio over to my HyperDeck, and I'm going to show you guys I'm doing that. You're getting a behind the scenes look at how this works. So back to this camera, I'm going to switch from channel 3 to channel 2, but I've also got to make sure that inside my software right here, I'm going to go into my audio settings. I got to make sure that my HyperDeck channels are live. So I have my desktop live right here. I have my fill channel for my HyperDeck Mini. It's right here. And I have my regular HyperDeck here, and I turned down the intro, so we're going to turn this back up a bit. You can see right now my audio is coming in through mic 1. And mic 1 is, guys, right here, and it is on and enabled. And that's channel 2. And you can see I have cables going in to the headphone output. That's the first one. The second one is channel 1 mic and channel 2. And then I have those set for input from a board, not a mic input. I have them set for a line input. And that comes from my Rodecaster Pro into mic channel 1. So now I've got to make this switch. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to go up to my HOSA. Remember, if I go to channel 1, it's going to go to my room speakers. If I go to channel 2, it's going to go to my HyperDecks. If I go to channel 3, it's for my live show, and that goes directly into my into my A10 Mini Extreme. And that's why you have to do these. I thought I had it set up, but for some reason it didn't go live. So let me think about this a minute. Welcome to a live show. So if I switch to channel 2, both my HyperDecks were live. I saw audio in them, but I was not getting audio, and I was getting audio on the software for the ATEM control software in channel, in my HyperDeck channel. Oh, I have audio follow video on. That's why. So, okay, let me show you why I didn't have audio. Okay, so if you have audio following video on right down here, it's only going to come on when you are using that channel, when you bring it on your live stream. So I'm going to turn both channel 4, let's see, channel 5 on, and I'm not going to turn this one on because I'm not using it for what we're doing tonight. So I'm only using one HyperDeck to do instant replay, so I only need audio in that one HyperDeck. So if this is set up right, then now I can go into the companion buttons that I made. And again, we're going to talk about an app that does all this for you, and you just have to spend some money. Someone else thought about all the problems, and they're on the chat tonight. And again, that's HyperSlow, and that's from these guys from LiveSkills. And so that app is great, and we're going to take a look at that in just a minute. But I want to illustrate that you can make a companion button, and you can do a instant replay. So I'd have to talk for a few seconds and do something that you guys would know I just did, and then I've got to cut back to it using these companion buttons that I created. So should we try it? Let me know in the chat, and let's get going, because I don't want to burn up the whole night talking about companion and HyperDeck. I want to spend a good sort of time tonight talking about HyperSlow, because I think it's great to spend the money and have someone solve all those problems and create a tool like this. And so we'll take a look at that here in a second. So I have the buttons on here. So I have 2 buttons. One is a button to record, because my decks are not recording yet. Okay, I haven't hit record on the decks. And if you were going to do any kind of instant replay, you're going to have to record what's coming in. And so I have it coming in right now. I'm going to switch back over to the other input. So now you still hear me. So I just switched to channel 2 on my host again, and you still have live audio because you're getting it now through my HyperDeck and through my other channel. And I'll show that to you again here real quick, because some people might be a little confused about this. So now I have it coming through both my HyperDecks. One is audio follow video, so I don't want it doubled. So I'm going to turn this one off. And I have that one on, which is channel 4, and that's the one we're going to do instant replay on. This channel right there is getting audio from this deck right here, and you can see the levels. So as I talk, the levels are going up and down. I also have levels on my HyperDeck AC Plus, and they're right there, but right now they're grayed out because I turned them off right down here. So I could turn it on again, and there it goes green. And I can turn it on audio follow video, and when that video's live, it's going to go green. So there we go. So we'll go back to this other camera angle. Sorry, I'm not holding that camera very well. I apologize for that. So I want to open back up my companion app, because also I just did a video on my HyperDeck series number 5 that talks about using the Elgato phone app to create buttons and be mobile. And I am mobile right now. So I'm going to close the Filmic Pro app. I'm going to open back up my Elgato's mobile Stream Deck buttons. I want to wake this puppy up just in case it tries to give me a heartache like it did earlier. And then I have a record button right now. So I'm going to hit record, and I'm going to talk for a few seconds here. Got to wake this button up. And of course, now my buttons are not working on my phone because I used, so let me just do something here real quick. Please stand by. So companion will time out. So FYI, the Elgato Stream Deck will time out. So you got to be aware of that if you have a Stream Deck on your desk. and I do use it for my live streams, but mostly in my live playlist, which operates my lights. Tonight I'm using Companion for these buttons, and I just got to get things awake here. So let me do this first. Let me go in my ATEM software and make sure that my HyperDeck is speaking to, yep, that looks good. So that's not the issue here. Save and get out of that. So let's try these buttons again. HyperDeck, record. Okay, I'm going to close this app and reopen it. And let me open Stream Deck here on my desk. I'm going to close it. And let's try this again. Well, that's the challenge with live. You do all this setup and then things are not working. So while I diagnosed this, what I did is I created a button to get both HyperDecks recording, and then I created a companion button to then instant replay. And if I can get this stuff to speak, and I am rebooting Companion now, and I'm rebooting and now let me reboot my phone. And inside the Companion software, let me bring up my, might as well do this while we're doing this, in my desktop. So let me open this software up here real quick. So up here, you have the ability to choose your desktop Stream Deck. And you guys don't have me in the picture because of me using my HyperDecks. So let me bring, we'll do it like this. So you can see I have my buttons right here. And if I want to wake up my phone, I can have the same buttons on my phone, though I only have 15 buttons. But if I'm in my HyperDeck from my desk, I have 32 buttons. So you got to design it to fit both the phone app and the regular app. And so what I was doing is I'm switching from my regular live stream back to my Companion buttons, and I'm going to do the same thing in my phone and just try to reboot this and see if I can get this to work again like it's supposed to. Again, that's the fun of live. And then we will switch back to the other view here. Sorry about that. So now we will attempt to get these buttons recording. This is just making it more intelligent to get this app, which I have not got it yet, HyperSlow, but I wanted to show you how to do it with regular Companion, not thinking that things were going to just get locked up tonight. But let's try to hit my record button again. Yeah, and these buttons just are not working for whatever reason. I do not know why. Let me make sure. Let me refresh Companion here. So Companion's an app and it runs on your browser. So sometimes you have to close it. It says multiple instances on. That's not good. So let me give it a second to close here. what I'm doing is I Control Alt deleted, and I'm going in here and I'm closing companion. And I'll reopen it here, so please stand by. In the meantime, if you haven't answered the question about what is it about this season that you like, and that could be this time of year, it could be specific holiday, however you celebrate it. I would love to know what this time of year means to you. So I'm opening companion up here again. And then I am going to reboot my Stream Deck companion one more time. And hopefully my patience is going to pay off. Okay, so now let's try this HyperDeck record. Stopping my live recording. Yeah, I'm not sure, guys, what is going down. I'm not able to record on either one of my HyperDecks right now, and I do not know why. So tested this all earlier today. It might have to do with the fact that I'm on the air and it's not getting a signal. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I haven't tested it in a live stream, and I am recording from my ATEM, but it shouldn't change the fact that these buttons are working or not. And so I can go in here and just test companion in general. So if I go into my live stream settings, or actually my Elgato, I can turn off and on this light. And so the Stream Deck is working fine. I'm not sure why companion is not working, but we're going to take a second here to look at the chat, being that that was an epic fail. So let's just shift gears here. Let's see if you guys have any input. And again, that was a live attempt to do instant replay. I spent about 2 hours today setting this up and about another hour testing. And for some reason right now, I tested the buttons a number of times. So evidently I'm missing something, but we're actually getting audio through my HyperDecks right now, and they are ready to record. But if I hit record on them, oh, there they go. Says no card. So, okay, so I got them recording. So I'm going to wave my hand. Let's just see if I can get one of the replay buttons to work. But I got to record for 15 seconds. And you're going to see a little glitch. Let's try this now. It would be super nice if this worked, wouldn't it? Well, I got them recording, so I'm going to wave my hand. Let's just see if I can get one of the replay buttons to work. But I got to record for 15 seconds. And you're going to see a little glitch. Let's try this now. It would be super nice if this worked, wouldn't it? That's actually instant replay from the HyperDeck. Sorry about the little glitch there. So again, if you were just doing a live recording with multiple cameras and you had a camera in every HyperDeck, then you could probably set up companion buttons to do instant replay. I find it not very intuitive. when Aaron Parecki on his channel did a live companion button create, it was the same thing. It's just not very intuitive. So it makes total sense why an app would be written to make it a little bit easier for us. And so let me look at the chat, and then we're going to talk with our guests here and look at this application called HyperSlow, which is designed to run on your iOS device, your iPad, and you can tether it and actually do replay in the middle of a live stream or live event, and then play back a clip or a number of clips. You can play them in succession, and you can use multiple HyperDecks, and for every angle you have going into a HyperDeck, then you could actually choose the camera angle as well. So let's go back into my Stream Deck here. Back here to sorry, getting back to macros, and put those buttons away for right now. And then I want to go into the live chat here on my phone, and now I'm back with you. So let me go through the questions here, and then we'll jump into this HyperSlow app, and you guys can take a look at the video and watch it working. And you can also take a look at the site and go check out the links that I have below. And then in the months to come, hopefully we'll have the guys on. I'll have the app, and we'll do a live demo. So Craig says the lights all animated on houses. That's really cool. Last night or the night before, I went with my family out to look at a really cool light display. It was in the intro video. So if you guys go back and watch the intro video, see clips I took with my phone of this house. It was all coordinated with music from the local radio station. I didn't want to get flagged, so I had no music on there, but they actually played Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton's new song. And a lot of that video footage, if you look on that porch, you can see a big screen TV playing the music video in the background. It's very tiny. And so anyway, that's on the intro. So yeah, I love that part of the scripture, this season. Yeah. So Sasha actually said, I think it's Sasha, right? Yeah. He said from Skillshare that I may have been having a problem with more than one thing trying to access my HyperDeck, because there are some connection things you have to sort out. So that could be possibly true. Okay, so I don't see any other questions. Hopefully I didn't lose everybody in the chat because of my crazy live stream. But let's look at this HyperSlow. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, all the way over in Berlin. And I think that's where you're from, Sasha. So thank you so much for joining the chat. I do hope that you would come on the show in the future and we could have a conversation about your app. And I'd love to see people out there that are wanting to do slow-mo replay from HyperDecks as an inexpensive way to have instant replay. I hope that they will dive into that app. So I don't see any other questions. So let's go to this view right here. And let's just double check and make sure SuperSource is set up right here. And it is. So let's go to me and my desktop. And so next to me, you can see the LiveSkills site. And this is a HyperSlow example. And I'm just going to hit play here because the best way to understand the app that you see right there on the iPad is to see this short video. I don't believe there's any audio. So you can see 2 HyperDecks. Those are the older HyperDecks, higher end, I believe. Here you can see the HyperSlow app user interface. And not going into great details, but here is the app in use. So that's a replay they want to replay, or a moment they want to replay at 75% speed. So right now we're just seeing the footage going on in this game. Another play they want to replay. And another play they want to replay. And these are 75% speed, all being played back from the HyperDeck. And again, slowing it down. And you could go slower than 75%, but that's what this is set at. Obviously, no audio. And you have different camera angles as well, and that would depend, I believe, Sasha, correct us if we're wrong, but that's going to be, you have to have a HyperDeck, obviously, from each camera source, so angle. And these are all being replayed from those different angles and from HyperDecks. So that plays a little bit longer, but it's showing you replays. And that's just one of the videos from their site. I'm going to bring up the web page here right now, so you guys can see that.
I dropped a bomb. The whole world is watching.
You're the #1 trending topic, ahead of tater tots, and the Pope followed you.
Wow.
Okay, no, this is not the. Is this the real?
Right.
No,
Great.
I don't
Thanks,
think this
Greg.
is a Pope.
Sorry about that. Obviously the audio came in and I didn't want that on, so I will turn audio off here on my desktop. And now I want to bring up this website. So let me get it up here first, and we'll cut back to this. So here is the LiveSkills website, and you can see that they have the HyperSlow right here. So here's just the HyperSlow software. You got a picture of it here. Now they do have version 4.0 out, and if we pop over, let's see, do I dare do this? Yeah. If you pop over to the App Store, you can see the cost, and right down here you can see that they have changes to 4.0 and 4.01, and so they do have the newer version out now. But you can see all the features, and there's even more information here when you download the site. They're working on some new NDI, I believe, things in the background, so the website's going to get updated, and hopefully by the time we have these guys on the live show will be able to have the app here on my iPad, and we'll actually demo 2 HyperDecks with 2 different camera angles, and we'll be able to demo that here in the show, because I do believe there's a lot of reasons why this app could be used for replay. So, or just camera angles, replaying something that took place from a certain camera angle, or what if you wanted to make a time code mark when you're doing a live recording on your HyperDecks, if you're doing a live event, or you're a church, or whatever, you are a live music venue, and you want to get back to that clip later. Maybe someone had the perfect quote, and you could mark the quote after they're done with it and go back and find that later by using this app. And so again, Sasha, if that's something that you could do, if someone was using HyperDecks to record all their cameras and they had this app, would they be able to just timestamp the end of a quote at a live conference or something like that and go back and find it later? And I could see during the break at a conference how this could be very handy as well. So you could replay the intro to the guests in a video during the break if you were doing a conference or someone recording it. So it could be a very handy app. And then you could have the raw footage or the main footage from each camera. If you were doing a recorded show or a live stream, then if you're using HyperDecks for each camera angle, then you'd actually have another backup recording that you could go back to later. You would just lose those moments that you're shutting the decks off and starting them back up again. So again, guys, that's just a quick overview of the app. Again, it's about $49 and some change on the App Store, and you can download it. And again, I think the more people that understand this app is out there, the more chances that that Sasha and his team are going to get more and more updates for it, and more people using it obviously motivates you to do more updates. So I definitely plan on, after the first of the year, downloading the app and giving it a shot right here with my 2 HyperDecks. And I want to play around with what it could do in all of those different scenarios, and may even take the app to a local venue here that's using HyperDecks and see how it works there as well. So again, that's the main focus of tonight's live stream is instant replay. You saw me do it through companion buttons, and you can see that there is a app called HyperSlow that you can get through LiveSkills site or through the App Store, load it onto your iOS, iPad, and use this app. And they do say that you want to tether it because of time code. So you're going to want, I do not have, part of the reason I didn't download the app and try to even use it tonight was I do not have a Lightning to Ethernet dongle yet. And they actually recommend some dongles that they've tested. I'll probably just get the Apple certified dongle. And I am going to try to grab that this week and do some tethering and see how that works with my iPad by going directly into the network through my switch. So again, if you have any questions, Sasha is in the live chat, so make sure you ask those questions of Sasha. And if you come on the live chat later, please, or you come on the video later, you didn't watch it live, leave your questions in there. And then I will be in touch with Sasha and his team and see if I can't get those questions answered. So here's a bunch of comments from Sasha here. Hello. Hint, HyperDeck can accept one client. Yep, thank you for that, Sasha. We developed HyperSlow to playback sports replays of a maximum of 15 seconds. You get to choose the speed. So it's designed to do a 15-second replay. And they also have a demo on their YouTube channel of some wrestling moments, not wrestling moments, but some weightlifting moments. And so you can check out those replays. That was pretty cool. So we recorded at 1080, 50 frames per second on a Sony FS5 and a Panasonic AWUE100. And again, you're probably, if you're going to do slow motion or slowing things down replay, you're going to want to probably go 60 frames per second here in the US or 50 frames per second like they did. And keep that in mind because that's going to give you better action, especially if you're slowing it down Very important. They have another video which shows the single replays in the game. So check out that video on their site. And that video shows the highlight cut at the end of the game. So you can actually watch, and I saw that, shows them setting up the app and all of that as well. So thanks for coming in, David. I appreciate you being here on the live. Looking forward for you and I having a Zoom conversation very soon, and maybe a collaboration in 2022 in regards to photography and how it applies to still images and everything else that we do in live streaming and social media. So that'll be exciting. Great to have Raisin here from Australia. Thanks for joining me. Not seen you here, I think, on the live streams before. HyperDeck Slow. This is again from Sasha from LiveSkills. HyperDeck Slow. The HyperDecks are connected to the iPad over your router with an Ethernet to the decks and Lightning to the Ethernet to the iPad. So again, you are having your iPad connected to your network, and then your HyperDecks are connected to that same network. So if you're going to go mobile, you would take a switch with you and make sure everything's plugged into that. And if you don't know anything about that kind of stuff, networks, go to Tony from QuickTech Solutions channel and subscribe to that and join him, because he's constantly talking about networks and installing a brand new network in his brand new house and studio. So you should watch that, and even talks about other stuff that you can do, backups and NASA's and all those kind of things on his channel. So shout out to Tony, who was here earlier, and hopefully Tony is still with us tonight. QuickTech Solutions. So yeah, if you have any other questions about slow-mo, any input on what you love about the holiday, I'd love to hear that. We try to be on for an hour and then have Q&A and then be off the air. Starting in January, I am going to, let's change views here. In January, we are going to have a post show. And so I'm looking forward to how that's going to work. The idea of the shows are 2 shows on the same Tuesday night. One is going to be an hour, which will be the main show. And pretty much anybody that subscribes can come to that. Occasionally, I'll turn that feature off and risk having people maybe pop on and say something that we may not want to have on the live stream. But again, that's the virtue of that. You could say something even if you were subscribed. And then the post show will be for anybody that wants to stay on. So if I do have a guest on the show, I'm going to be asking them to stay after. And some of those times we're actually going to have them in that show through SuperSource, like I've had Adam on the show before, and was on a show with Tony from QuickTech Solutions and Adam on Adam's channel a while back. And I'd love to have them on the live. And in that post show, I also want to bring in some of my longtime viewers to be on the live show in the second half. And so that'll be fun. It's still going to be a live show. People could still subscribe and join that, but I want to do it separate for people that want to spend more time on Tuesdays and doing that, because it's super late right now in Berlin. And I thank you so much, Sasha, for being on. I look forward to hearing more about your app, HyperSlow, and the other apps that you have on your site. And he does have apps on the site, so check those out. And I thank you so much for responding so quickly, because that response was from an email today. And Sasha agreed to be here tonight, even though it was 1 a.m. when we launched live, and now it's 2 a.m. So Sasha, if you need to go, please do that. I'm going to be off the air here shortly. And if anybody else has a question for Sasha, please leave it in the comments of this video after it goes on to YouTube. We'll make sure that we get those questions answered, even if I have to email Sasha and then respond to you in the comments. So again, so HyperDecks can be used for recording, for playback, and they can be used for replay. And you can create companion buttons to do replay, but it makes sense to find an app out there that simplifies things. And you guys know how I feel about apps that help me operate my ATEMs as well as operate SuperSource. And now you know how I feel about apps that will help operate Replay. Now, Replay isn't going to be something I'm going to do a lot here in my live streams, but there are a few ideas I have to use it. And so I'm looking forward to learning more about how I can use my HyperDecks for that. And I love the idea of camera angles as well. So 15 seconds is great. That's how I set up my instant replay tonight. So you saw 15 seconds of video, and then it cut the HyperDeck, and I could go back and fix those buttons so it changes back to my main camera. But again, that's all companion stuff, and we're not going to get deep into companion tonight. So any other questions that you have in the chat tonight for Sasha or for me, or any ideas about what you love about the holidays, if you haven't shared that already this season, I would love to hear that as well. And again, shout out to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful holiday and you're having an amazing December wherever you are in the world. So yeah, you're welcome, Tony, for the shout out. He is the IT tech guy. That's switches, that's networks in your home. That's his specialty. And I am learning more and more as I tune in to many other YouTubers on the channel. I'll shout out to Tony because he's joined me here in the live streams, and I definitely want to give a shout out. So, and again, David, I shouted out to because I've learned a lot from his channel, and he just did a couple new videos about cameras, and he has videos on his channel for lots of stuff and some amazing footage as well as photographs. So, okay, I think I've covered everything. So I was just looking to see, Craig, if you're still on. If you have any questions, let me know. Such a blessing to have LiveSkills on. I know, Sasha, we didn't have a lot of people in the live, but there are lots more people. It is the holiday week. And so after the first of the year, we'll see if we can't get you live with me and have lots more people on. So I wanted to share just one thing before we go. I used this switch tonight, and I did have some camera angles here. Let's turn the Skycam Canon back on here. I apologize. I'm going to get up. You can see my sweater tonight. It's hot in here. I don't normally wear a sweater, but this is kind of the only thing I have that I felt like was holiday appropriate, so I grabbed it. And so I hope you enjoy the sweater. It definitely lets you see my old neck here. So no collar to hide any of that. So got the cameras on here. Let's do this. Let's cut to, what camera do I want to use here? Yeah, let's cut to this camera. This is my EOS R. And here is the adapter. Let's see if I can get this to focus here. So that's the brand. I put a link here on the screen. I didn't like that shot at all. Let's try the Skycam. And cut to that. And so it's a little different look. Try to move this microphone out of the way here just a little bit. And this one I can manually focus. So there you go. So, and take us out of the box just because I wanted to do this tonight. I have a bunch of these in my studio. I mean, they're all over. I mean, I have these, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have maybe 6 of these live right now, and I keep running out, so I bought a couple extras. So I used one of these tonight. It's just a 1 in and 2 out. Let's cut back to that other camera. So 1 in, and then I have a switch, and it lights up once you get 2 inputs in it. And then that's the 1 out and 2 in, sorry. So it's just a switch. So I can take 2 inputs in and 1 out. And I use that tonight right on my desk to be able to switch on what I wanted to go into HyperDecks. So, because I have my SG 3G or 6G converter behind my desk, so I can't show it to you right now. It's back there, Velcroed on, and I wanted to switch inputs so I could send a signal to my HyperDecks, and I don't normally have them wired. So tonight I used that to send this camera to my HyperDecks, and I used the switch to do that. So I have this camera coming in, and I have another input coming in, and it goes out to the HyperDeck input. And so that's what I use those for. So it's a really nifty little device. I did put a link in there in the chat. And the reason I decided to talk about this tonight before we go is I was messing around with trying to get 4K from my Apple TV, because I have my Apple TV all the way over here, and then I want to play it on the big screen TV back there. That's actually my big screen TV. Here in the studio, I just have a screensaver on it right now. And so I bought this really high-end 8K switch, and I tried to use it tonight. It didn't work. I don't know what's wrong with it. It didn't work when I tried to use it. Spent way more money for that. Then I plug in one of these, and it works great. Anytime I plug one on my desk, I don't have to power it. And I love these. So if I have 2 HDMIs coming in and 1 out, and I just want to be able to get more devices into my live stream, I could come out of this with 2 cameras, right? I could have an A camera and a B camera, and then I could switch. Now, you're going to get a little glitch, so keep that in mind. So if you're switching cameras, this doesn't work like switching in a regular ATEM switcher. They are instantaneous switching, but this has a little glitch. But that's okay when you just want to reach over, change inputs, and then bring it on the screen. Eventually, I will get a video hub by Blackmagic Design, probably a 20 in and 20 out, or maybe even a 40 in or 40 out. And then I can switch whatever input to wherever in my studio. But that means a lot of converters, and I'm nowhere near ready to do that. Even though, if you go to Aaron Parecki's channel, he has a 20 in, 20 out video hub. And he was on with Photo Joseph in a live stream yesterday morning, and they talked about his video hub, and they talked about a lot of things together because Photo Joseph was in town visiting in Portland, and he stopped in and did a live stream with Aaron Parecki. So check that out. I watched that yesterday, and a shout out to those 2 gurus here on YouTube. They have lots of cool input on their channel. So again, we talked about instant replay using the control software, and I actually got it to work. I don't know what was going on. And the companion, probably a communication issue. We talked about HyperSlow, which is an app by LiveSkills, and we thank Sasha for coming on. And again, he is the CEO all the way from Berlin, and that's the cool thing with chat and even other stuff. We'll have to see if he can come on live because they don't have great internet, he said there today, but we'll see if we can make that happen, or we'll figure out how to pre-record something, and I'll ask the questions, and then he'll answer those, and we'll bring that into the live show. It'll feel like live, but it'll be pre-recorded. We'll see how that works out. So, and then we talked about these switches, and I can't pronounce the name, but I put the link on the channel here, and it's overexposed because it's a white box, but hopefully you'll check those out. Don't get this one, but make sure that if you are going to get them, use the link and get a couple of these. I think they're only like $8 on Amazon or $9, and it was great to have those here in the studio. So that's it for the holiday week live stream. Again, thank you so much for joining me. It is great to see those of you that joined me tonight. Again, a shout out to Sasha with LiveSkills, to Freddie Ponce all the way from Venezuela. Craig, it's great to have you on the stream tonight. Great to have Tony from Quick Tech Solutions. Great to also have David Osler on here. Check out their channels. And also Raisin Cuero on the channel tonight. I don't know if you were connected with any of the other guys here on the channel, but let me know. And what drew you in here. I'd love to hear more from you. And thank you for watching all the way from Australia. And I don't think I missed anybody else. But thank you so much for being on here. So what size is the BenQ and the cost? It was about $1,300. It's a 32-inch 4K display. It's got all kinds of great color science built into it. You can split screen, so I could have a 32-inch monitor, and I could have Rec 709 on one side. I could have HDR on the other side, or I could have RGB or sRGB, and you can split the screen. So I could be editing a photograph and see the sRGB color space as well as the 709, and that's tech for people who do color correcting. And so I bought it for color correcting video, for photography editing. So it's not an inexpensive monitor, and it's about I think the model is a couple years old now, but I just love it. And I love the fact that it has the little puck, so I can make quick changes, and I can assign any one of those 4 inputs. Remember, I have a PC coming into it. I have a laptop coming into it. I have both my HyperDecks, but I have to bring them in one at a time. So that's 3 quadrants when I have it set to 4. And I also have what do I have? What did I miss? Oh, my multi-view coming into it. And again, I can change the multi-view in my ATEM to program out any camera. So any input coming into my ATEM Extreme ISO, I can put up there. Right now, I'm only showing my multi-view, but when I'm checking my camera exposure and focus, I'll pop up into my control software and I'll switch the source to camera 1 or camera 2, or I can just, if I have it live in my program view, then I can cut to program view, I can cut to preview view, and I love that. So anyway, so all 4 monitors now available to me. So instead of having monitors everywhere, just get one big monitor, invest the money, 4K, so that you can play 4K video into it and edit 4K videos or high resolution photographs, see the pixels better. And then it also reads HDMI inputs if you're only doing 1080p. So I hope that answers your question. That is a amazing, good question to ask tonight. And Freddie responded with what the new model is. Just make sure whatever model you get, that it has those features. And again, this has a Thunderbolt input for one input, DisplayPort for another input, and then there's 2 HDMI inputs. So keep that in mind. You can't get 4 inputs into it unless you come from a DisplayPort, which is my PC, and the Thunderbolt comes out of my laptop via my OC White hub. So my hub is Thunderbolt, and then I come out of it, has a Thunderbolt out to my BenQ. And you can daisy chain, it has another Thunderbolt out. So you can have 2 BenQ monitors, Thunderbolt to the first monitor, out Thunderbolt to the other monitor. It also has USB outputs, USB-C outputs, as well as you have the 2 HDMIs as well. So keep that in mind, or you're going to come out of it. So anytime I want to see a 4K video, it's my 4K monitor display here in the studio. So if I was streaming 4K, I would need a monitor like that to be able to preview it. Again, my ATEM will not do 4K. It doesn't stream at 4K. It doesn't record at 4K. So I don't do much live streaming at 4K, but I can record this camera clean 4K out into my HyperDeck. And then if I want to see that video, I could play it right back in my BenQ, because my HyperDecks are always hooked up so that I can display them in my BenQ. Now, again, any one of those 4 inputs can go full screen too. You just have to choose that input when you go to a 32-inch screen. And any one of those inputs could be assigned to any quadrant. I will say this, if you're full screen, you get audio from whatever that input is. If you're in 4 view, you can get audio in the top left quadrant. And that's exactly why I have my HyperDecks in the top left, because that's how I used to be able to listen to audio from my BenQ. And I know when my intro videos got audio and it's working right, as well as when they're about to end. So like right now, when I'm about to say goodbye, happy holidays, however you celebrate it, have an amazing week. And I hit that outro video, I can actually listen to that outro video playing without my headphones on my BenQ monitor. And that's when I know it's winding down and I can stop live streaming on YouTube and then stop recording on my ATEM when I'm recording. But tonight I shut it off because I was running out of footage. on my SSD drive. So, okay, we went an hour and 20 minutes. That's still not an hour, but I'm doing my best to get this cut down. And by the end of this year, we will have it cut down to just over an hour. And then a few minutes later, we will go back live with Q&A and a second live stream for those of you that want more on Tuesday nights. So again, and then those videos will be separate on my channel. So hopefully that'll help people consume it. Also, I went through all my new HyperDeck series for the very first time. I put in chapter markers. So if you go to my HyperDeck series, my new one, you can go to certain chapters and watch just the parts that you want to watch. So make sure you check out that new HyperDeck HD Plus, or any of the new HyperDecks for that matter. Check out that video series here on my channel. So again, have a great holiday. I'm going to use my BenQ now. I'm going to use my macros, and I'm going to say goodnight. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday at 4 o'clock after the holiday weekend. And I have another topic I want to cover as we wrap up this year 2021 and roll in 2022. Also trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for those of you that subscribed in the last week. We've really made great progress, a little bit faster than normal. So who knows? We may or may not hit 1,000 subscribers by the new year, but we will hit it shortly after, I'm sure. So thank you guys so much. Look forward to hearing from you in the future. And thank you so much for participating here on Life Journey Production Studios, our live stream on Tuesdays. And I am Keith, and I will see you very, very soon. And with that, outro, roll. It's not my outro.
1, 2, test 1, 2, test 1, 2, test 1, 2.
Let's try that again. That's not the outro. Remember when I took those discs out to make sure I didn't record on them? Here we go.